Right guys, so I'm going to talk about pacing. And basically the strategy when it comes to tackling workouts. So when we talk about pacing, often we start to think about performance side of fitness and training and competing or doing the best we can. But you know, the way you pace a workout ultimately will be it will have an impact on your performance. It will have an impact on your enjoyment of it. It'll have an impact on your recovery and safety, first and foremost. And if we can kind of start to move better, improve our mobility, improve our skill set, and also put in the right pacing strategy to the workouts, we're going to have lots more enjoyment, lots more progress, and lots more safety. And they all kind of come under one thing, really. It's not one or the other. You can obviously there are different levels of pacing depending on what you're doing, but it'll make sense when I finish the video. So what we're going to start with is just a quick 101 on energy systems. So they're quite easy to kind of get your head around. So you Google energy systems and it'll pull up loads of stuff. But basically, when for us to move our arms, move our legs, we have to use energy, and that's obviously we eat carbohydrates and fats that get utilized as energy. But we only have a certain storage of energy called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and that's stored in the muscle. Now, there's 3 different energy pathways. You never just use one on their own. We're always using all 3 pathways. That's important. You'll understand again, when I get to the end of this, it'll kind of make a bit more sense. But what we've got a pathway that allows us to do fast, powerful, immediate work, which lasts from anywhere from 6 to 10 seconds, depending on how much energy we've got stored in phosphocreatine, which is why people take creatine to try and increase those stores. We've got the glycolytic pathway, so these 2 pathways are classed as anaerobic pathways, which basically mean they liberate energy without the presence of oxygen. So we don't need oxygen present. They can do it without, and that limits the amount of energy and the duration that they can deliver energy. The glycolytic pathway, that'll last, if you think about 400 metre, 800 metre runs, things that maybe last a few minutes and are done, very intense. This pathway is often the pathway that makes us feel not very good, or we kind of enter into this pathway and it liberates lots of byproducts like lactic acid. I'll talk about that in a different video actually. Again, knowing this, it allows us to go at high intensity, but for not as high as the first pathway. However, we can sustain this for maybe about 2 minutes. The next one is the aerobic pathway, which is effectively liberating energy with the use of oxygen, which allows us to, the bang for your buck in terms of how much power and energy it liberates is a lot lower, but it can be sustained for a lot longer, and that's kind of our endurance events. So, for example, we're literally talking the first pathway, so phosphagen pathway is seconds. The glycolytic pathway is minutes, and then the aerobic pathway, can go on for hours. Okay, and they're always working at the same time. So I've done a nice little diagram for you. To be honest, it's probably easier for you to go online and actually pull this up. Probably should have said that before, but I'll put it in the comments. Pull this up, and you can see what I'm talking about as I'm talking through it. Okay, so as you see, we've got percentage of energy, we've got seconds, minutes, and hours, and then this is how much energy is released. Phosphagen, literally, we have a rapid drop off. We get lots of power. So you think about 100-meter sprint, they're slowing down by the time they're finishing. You look at Usain Bolt, and he's slowing down at the 100-meter mark, and that's what he did. Just sub 10-second sprint. Most Olympic level athletes will sprint in between around about 10 seconds, and then they're actually getting slower. Glycolytic pathway, you can see, the energy is released gradually. You will be using both systems at the same time for this. So you will still be using this first one, but you won't be using it all. You'll be using them both at the same time. For example, if you think about on an assault bike, if you had 2 minutes max cals to do, and you absolutely spent all your chips in the first 10 seconds, you'd have, you know, the rest 1 minute and 50 seconds, you'd have a really bad time. Whereas if you had a steady, prolonged, less intense, but still intense 2 minute blast, you'd probably have a better output throughout the full 2 minutes rather than just in the first 10 seconds, okay? And then obviously you think about a warm-up, like an aerobic warm-up pace, a pace that you can sustain for hours on end, the output of power is going to be a lot lower, okay? So that's a little intro. The next is going to be done in another video. I'll do this in the next video.